Hello and welcome to the Nightline. I'm Razi Ahmad.
And I'm Cheryl Shaminato. Thank you for joining us. Shall we head to the news, Razi?
Let's. All Employees Provident Fund (EPF) members who have had their incomes adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic are eligible to apply for i-SINAR. This was announced by EPF in a statement detailing the eligibility criteria of the i-SINAR scheme, which is now open to up to 8 million of its members.
EPF announced two categories for the scheme. Category 1 includes those working in the formal sector, self-employed, those working in the gig economy, those who have not contributed to EPF for a period of time, and those who have lost their jobs, housewives, or given no pay leave. Members eligible for this category can apply online starting December 21st, 2020, and are not required to provide supporting documents. Approval will be automatic based on EPF's internal data, and once approved, payment will be given in the middle of January. Meanwhile, Category 2 includes members whose total income has been reduced by 30% and above. It includes reduction in base salary and other benefits such as allowances and overtime from March 2020 onwards. To expedite the verification processes, EPF members are required to provide supporting documents. An application can be submitted online starting January 11, 2021. Payment will be done at the end of the following month.
Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg has reiterated that the full matter accorded to state as its fundamental rights under the Malaysia Agreement 1963 or MA63 and the Federal Constitution are non-negotiable.
The four are the state's immigration rights to taxation powers like the imposition of state sales tax, port dues, and other state laws with protection rights within the continental shelves and state sovereignty over seabed and subsoils. He said this in his address during the first meeting of the Special Council on MA63 via video conferencing that was chaired by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin today. Also present at the meeting were State Secretary Datuk Amar Jaul Samion, Assistant Minister of Law, State-Federal Relationship and Project Monitoring, Datuk Sharifah Hasidah Said Aman Ghazali, Acting State Attorney General Safari Ali, and Legal Officer Evie Liana Atang.
Sarawakians will soon be able to enjoy lower-priced liquid petroleum gas or LPG. In line with the Gabungan Parti Sarawak government's initiative to develop Sarawak as a self-sustaining state, the Petros-branded LPG could potentially contribute to the development of Sarawak's natural resources.
According to the Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, this is one of the GPS government efforts to increase the state's revenue. He said the gas industry is the backbone to the nation's economy, not only for export or power generation, but for domestic usage to ensure the people can have affordable energy.
Hal LPG itu. LPG banyak yang pun value chain-nya. Kita mengeluarkan LPG. Pertama, wang molah tong. Wang molah tong dapat bisnes. Nombor dua, tong diisi dengan gas. Kayak tong ni dapat berjalan ke diri. Orang ngembat lori dapat untung. Dan akhirnya orang restoran dan orang makan gas tu akhirnya dapat mendapatkan gas. Tapi rega chain tu adalah mahal. Kata oleh Datuk Winnie RM50 lebih. Jadi kita beri subsidi. Kita beri subsidi lebih kurang 50%. Sebab dia harganya RM20 lebih. Situng termasuklah gas.
Abang Johari added the Petros LPG will be sold at RM26.60 per 14 kilogram cylinder, as it is a control item under the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. Meanwhile, Abang Johari also revealed that the gas will be sold to Pontianak, West Kalimantan, Indonesia.
ASEAN ada mempunyai satu perubahan daripada bidang trading ataupun perniagaan. ASEAN dah membuka pintu. Bermakna kita harap tong merah tu akan berjalan di negara lain. Kita akan mengeluar juga, kita menjual menjualkannya juga kepada negara jiran kita yang berkendakkan gas. Itu adalah masa depan. Saya berbisik-bisik dengan Dr. Rundi tadi. We have to go beyond this kubahria. Bermakna kini tu kita tahulah energi elektrik kita sekarang tu kita jual di Kalimantan. Elektrik kita dah jual di Kalimantan. Dan Gubernur Kalimantan ada menulis surat kepada saya untuk juga kita membekalkan LPG kepada Kalimantan Barat, khasnya kampung-kampung dekat border.
He said this at the Petros LPG launching ceremony in Putrajaya in Kuching on Wednesday.
A total of 95 Sarawakian companies are currently involved in the LPG value chain licensed under Section 7 Bracket G of the Distribution of Gas Ordinance DGO 2016. Minister of Utilities Datuk Seri Dr. Stephen Rundi Utom revealed that the companies are involved in transporting, distributing and retailing.
With the launching of this Petros LPG, we encourage more participation of Sarawakian or the people of Sarawak especially to involve in the LPG distribution businesses to ensure, as mentioned by the chairman just now, the adequate, reliable, of quality, efficient, affordable and safe gas supply for domestic consumers in the state.
As such, it is important to fully support Petros' endeavours and efforts to make sure that this supply chain of gas throughout Sarawak, especially the rural areas, will be guaranteed. Since 1990, he shared that the government subsidised the coverage of LPG used by households of almost 50% and set a current control price for 14 kilograms LPG filled cylinder at 26 ringgit 60 cents. He continued that it is imperative that the ministry is empowered to enforce effectively and protect the interests of gas consumers in the state.
Subsidizing the use of LPG fuel for the household has been a significant policy measure towards widening coverage. Hence, Dr. Patigi, my ministry will ensure that the subsidized LPG truly benefit the right consumers, especially for rural households where distribution costs have escalated LPG cylinder prices and created a disproportionate urban and rural pricing gap.
Meanwhile, according to the chairman of Petros' board of directors, Tan Sri Dr. Hamid Pugo, the Petros liquid petroleum gas will complete and expand the natural resources in Sarawak.
Petros LPG, we will further support Sarawakians with a cleaner, burning, more efficient and safe cooking fuel. More than ever, we believe families are gathering over meals, cook at home, stay safe, so there'll be more meals cooked at home. Petros LPG will be honored to be part of every meal preparation in every Sarawakian home.
The launching of Sarawak's own LPG under the Petros brand was well received by the communities, as it is one of the anticipated news since it was announced by Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg. Here's what they have to say.
Saya sebagai rakyat Sarawak amat menyokong usaha kerajaan. Sebagai peniaga, ia amat memberi manfaatlah kepada saya dengan harganya yang murah, yang berpatutan. Semoga ianya diperluaskan untuk kami orang peniaga lah, kepada keseluruhan rakyat Sarawak juga lah.
Sebagai peniaga memang mengucapkan terima kasihlah dengan pengguna-pengguna orang kampung ke, orang bandar ke. Oleh kerana kita dah ada gas sendiri, Petros, yang telah dilancarkan baru-baru ini. yang sangat bermanfaat dengan harga dia, dengan kuantiti dia yang mencukupi. Memang cukup untuk negeri Sarawak ni. Kita patut sokong industri petrol Sarawak.
Mestinya saat yang membanggakan kita sebagai rakyat Sarawak khasnya, di mana kita mampu dan kita berpeluang untuk menikmati hasil Sarawak itu sendiri. Dan harapan saya supaya semua kita rakyat Sarawak berpeluang untuk menikmati hasil kita. Jadi sama-sama kita sokong Petros, kita dapatkan tong dan izinkan saya memetik kata-kata yang Amat Ketua Menteri, tong kita pun. Ya, itu harapan saya.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at COVID-19 developments in Sarawak. No new positive cases were recorded in Sarawak today. This maintains the total number of COVID-19 cases in the state at 1,065 cases. Kuching and Miri districts are still in the yellow zone, while 38 other districts remain in the green zone. So far, there are 6 active clusters in Sarawak, namely the Haji Baki cluster, Jalan Abel cluster, Wisma Sabakas cluster, Besi cluster, Green Hill cluster, and Selada cluster.
Laos Division Disaster Management Committee will strengthen border control to prevent the spread of COVID-19 pandemic into northern Sarawak. Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said it includes controlling entry to land, water and air other than the illegal routes.
Saya juga telah pun minta Tuan Residen sebagai pengurusi jawatan kuasa bencana untuk bahagian Limbang, supaya kita akan perketatan pergerakan keluar masuk melalui sempadan kita, termasuk jalan-jalan tikus, termasuk yang bergerak melalui laut itu, termasuk mungkin yang bergerak melalui udara.
He also urged the community in Lawas and Limbang to limit unnecessary movements out of the border. This is to ensure that the spread of COVID-19 can be controlled completely and at the same time break the chain of infection.
Kes di Sabah masih tinggi. Katanya ini berdekatan dengan Sabah. Katanya ini juga berdekatan dengan Labuan. Jadi saya menyeru, demi untuk kebaikan kita, demi untuk keselamatan kita, kecuali ianya penting, teramat penting, jika tidak, kurangkanlah pergerakan katanya.
He said this during the MRP Landscape and Zakat Grant handing over ceremony in Limbang on Wednesday.
Educational institutions were not left out in experiencing the change that came with the COVID-19 pandemic, as educators and students are now practicing teaching and learning via online platforms. Sarawak Bumiputera Teachers Union KGBS President Ahmad Mali said online learning is rather challenging than conventional learning.
Jadi bagi pandangan KGBS, kenyataan ataupun keluhan guru-guru berkenaan ada benarnya, kerana apa yang pasti guru-guru memang menghadapi pelbagai cabaran dalam ataupun dalam usaha untuk memastikan pembelajaran online dapat dilaksanakan dengan sebaik yang mungkin mengikut keadaan ataupun kemudahan yang ada pada ketika inilah.
In addition, students were also facing problems whereby not all of them have access to the internet or devices for the said matter.
Dari segi murid juga pun kita perlu lihat, kerana bagi murid yang tidak dapat kemudahan capai internet dan juga mempunyai peranti-peranti yang sesuai untuk mengikuti pembelajaran online, sudah pasti mereka lebih cabaran untuk mengikuti pembelajaran ini.
semuanya bergantung kepada pelajar sebab kita semua pelajar stres. Ia yang paling penting. Sebab kita tu cuti terlalu lama, parents pun kita tahu zaman musim-musim macam tu keuangan TC berapa bagus kan. So kami semua pelajar kami stres dan sekaligus kami semua juga pelajar-pelajar kami yang ketinggalan. So terpulang pada pelajar kami. Yang madanya ada data, kami akan jumpa kelas online.
The UK has become the first Western country to license a vaccine against COVID-19. It opens the way for mass immunization, with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine to begin next week for those most at risk.
The vaccine has been authorized for emergency use by the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory before decisions by the US and Europe. The MHRA was given power to approve the vaccine by the government under special regulations before 1st January, when it will become fully responsible for medicine authorization in the UK after Brexit. The Health Secretary Matt Hancock said the UK would have 800,000 doses available next week.
Well, next week there'll be 800,000, so it's the first start. We'll then deploy it at the speed that it's manufactured. And the manufacturing, of course, is being done by Pfizer in Belgium. So that will determine the speed at which we can roll it out. As we've said all along, we've always said even if we get something before Christmas, we will have the bulk of the rollout in the new year.
Hancock said rolling out the vaccine across the UK would be challenging because it needed to be kept at negative 70 degrees Celsius. He said the vaccine would also be available from some GPS and pharmacies if they had cold storage facilities.
So it will start with the most elderly and with people in care homes and, of course, their carers to make sure that others don't catch it. And then essentially it comes down the age range. NHS staff are also high on that priority list. And also the clinically extremely vulnerable who we've supported throughout this crisis, those who are particularly vulnerable to coronavirus.
Gold prices slipped its worst in 4 years in the global market. Following the announcement on the discovery of a vaccine for COVID-19, including in Malaysia, is said to be a major factor for the sharp drop in the price of gold recently.
很难讲啦，他们都是买来有的是收藏啦，不过他们平常带比较多啦，买来平常用啦，或者借分的时候有人家来买借分东西，这样啊。 我们普通的一些顾客就买来自己带了。这个金我们是跟国际行情的吧？假设国际行情起我们就起了，下我们就下了，这样。顾客现在顾客都很少因为没有什么钱好买嘛。这个疫情下去哪里有？在我们这个地方没有什么影响啦，不大会啦，因为我们地方小嘛，我们没有外客，都是本地人。
Chairman of Sarawak Goldsmith Association, Lee Boon Lah, said businesses are as usual despite the pandemic. He also added that the price of gold in market value was correlated to the market price that was set by an international benchmark. Goldsmith shops in Kuching, Sarawak have adhered to the international benchmarking. However, Boon Lah also commented that certain gold premise owners would hike their value depending on their customability. Meanwhile, local buyers were seen to seize the opportunity in the drop of the market to purchase gold as an investment, as the market value was said to be unpredictable.
Halimah Ibrahim. Kami bawa kami 5 minggu depan pakai mek simpan, kami suka simpan mas. Mek kesempatan lah, tahun depan tentunya naik harga, tu ada turun.
gold investment consultant Shukor Hashim said the price of the precious commodity went up by 37% from early January to August, when it used to exceed 300 ringgit a gram, but it has fallen to 256 ringgit a gram currently. He also added that the price went up due to the threat of COVID-19, which has affected the world's economy and indirectly caused investors to choose gold as a safe asset. However, following the news of the discovery of the COVID-19 vaccine, this led economies and investors to predict that the world economy will recover as gold is seen to have lost its attraction as a safe asset.
Hello there, welcome back. Congratulations to Sarawak-born artist Alina Murang, who bagged the Best Styling Award at the Buenos Aires Music Video Festival.
The results was confirmed by Alena in her Instagram account, which she displayed the official results on the festival website. The award category witnessed Alena successfully overcome 7 other competitors from various countries. With her coveted jewel song title Midang Midang, Alena's Club It Tribe music video. In the same festival, Midang Midang was also the nominees for the Best International Video. Midang Midang is an old Kelabit song which she learned from her great-aunt about a young girl watching leaves dry in sun. The music video was produced by Project Room and Kanit, and it was shot in the Kelabit Highlands and Miri. The Midang Midang music video was launched on November 27 last year with the support of the Sarawak Tourism Board and Miri City Council.
Kami merasa amat teruja menerima Best Styling Award dari Buenos Aires Music Video Festival 2020. Dan kami sangat-sangat berterima kasih atas sokongan dari anda semua. Semoga karya seni anak-anak Sarawak boleh menaluki seluruh dunia. Terima kasih.
The animation of Upin and Ipin's Season 14 for the episode Barang Baik, Barang Kita features the Minister of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinge. This episode is also in conjunction with the Ministry for the Upin and Ipin series for increasing the promotion of the Buy Malaysian Products campaign throughout 2020.
After a year hiatus, former national team coach Datuk K. Rajagopal is ready to make a return, now in Brunei. Rajagopal is known for setting the bar very high for himself and his teams.
It's no surprise that the 64-year-old former Harimau Malaya coach's short-term target for his new team is to help them qualify for the first group stages of the ASEAN Football Federation AFF Championship for the first time since 1996. The 2021 AFF Championship is scheduled to be held from April 11 to May 8. The playoff between Brunei and another yet-to-be-named team will be held before the draw for the biennial tournament, which has yet to be fixed. Rajagopal is certainly capable of delivering on his promise. He is, after all, the person responsible for guiding Malaysia to their maiden AFF Championship title in 2010, helping the national under-23 squad and the country's SEA Games gold medal drawn by triumphing in the 2009 Laos edition. Rajagopal admitted that it had always been his dream to be the head coach of the Brunei national team.
And that concludes the Nightline. I'm Shel Shamina.
And I'm Razia Ahmad. As always, thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next time.
Have a good night.